Well, we might get started then. So my name is Dr. Sarah Pai, and I host this gathering with Dr. Wong Suti, who is here as well today. We hold this meeting every month, and it started pretty much in COVID or actually before COVID, but it became a more important way of us all connecting during COVID. And it's for people who love wildlife and want to share their knowledge of wildlife and specifically know a little bit more about what's going on in Borneo. So we have, generally speaking, I'll give you a little bit of an update what's been going on with me. Wong will give you an update of what's been going on in Borneo. And then we have a guest speaker. But today we're swapping things up a bit. So you're going to hear a little bit of an update with me, and that will sort of morph into what's been going on in Borneo with our guest speakers sort of being me, Nerilyn, and Bernie today. We'll tell you a little bit about what we've been up to, and then Wong's going to give us an update on the sun bears as well. So for those of you that don't know me, I am the author of a number of different books, and they all tell the life tales of Dr. Wong Suti, who is here. And Wong is the founder and director of the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre in Sepalok in Malaysia. I first met Wong in 2012 and was captivated by what he was doing to protect the species from extinction. I asked him what I could do to help, and that he came back with 5 powerful words, didn't you, Wong? Yeah, do what you do best is what he said to me. So that it ended up taking me down a bit of a journey for the last decade, and the most recently writing his biography as part of my doctorate, and also then writing 6 children's books about his adventures with different species in the jungles of Borneo. So yeah, we're going to take you on a little bit of tour today in Borneo, because I happen to be in Borneo at the moment as well. Asphal, nice to see you. It's lovely to see you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen. Got a couple of pictures to share with you of what's been going on with us. Can you see that? Nerilyn, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Well done. That's awesome. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So this is our special Borneo edition. So I flew to Borneo on the last couple of days of July, and I spent a couple of days with Wong before my team arrived. So this is, we've actually been on a journey through Sabah in the last 10 days. But before the team arrived, I did some work with the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre. Gloria, who runs the education outreach program at the Sun Bear Centre, arranged for me to go and spend some time in a couple of local schools. And this is something that I do regularly in Australia where I live. But this was kind of different to be able to actually engage children in Borneo with the species in their country. So I also taught them a little bit about some of the creatures that we have in Australia, and we did a little bit of a cultural share on those things. We did workshops where the children created animal masks, and they learned about the creatures in their rainforest and then became them. So we ended up having a room full of orangutans. We had lots of Sumatran rhinos, lots of sun bears, and yeah, lots of noise, I have to say, as well, which was pretty cool. So I spent 2 days doing that, and really it was such a privilege to be able to do that as part of Wong's team of outreach people. But then on the 2nd of August, my team arrived. So this is the first time that I've led a group of people through Sabah in Borneo. Our team arrived, and the first day we spent at the Sun Bear Centre. We were lucky enough that Dr. Wong gave us a tour behind the scenes, which included a walk around the perimeter fence and meeting some of the bears. And there's our team in front of the Sun Bear sign, which was is the logo of the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre. And you can see one of the inhabitants. Which one is this, Wong? Can you tell who that is?
This is Noah.
That's Noah. Okay. So Noah was sitting on top of the stump, which you can view from observation platform 1. Bernie, what was your first impressions of the Sun Bear Centre? Hang on, we got to get Neryl on to help.
Hi, Sarah. We're having trouble with the internet in our room. First
That's all
impressions of
right.
the Sun Bear Centre was amazing, actually, to see the sun bears, and yeah, it was a really great visit because you just can get really close to them. You can watch them as they walk around. Yeah, it's a fantastic facility, and they're doing a great job there.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyone else want to give us any impressions of BSBCC?
I will. It's really well organized, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. The staff were really friendly and helpful.
Yeah, the staff were awesome. Well done. Well done. And I have to say I really enjoyed spending some time walking around the perimeter fence because we're able to see the sun bears up really close. And one of my favorites for long stood up right next to us, right next to the fence. So we were able to see his chest patch really, really well, and hear him vocalizing as he was waiting for a bit of a treat across the fence. That was fun. And then we had a bit of a treat with Romalina, didn't we? Nerilyn, do you want to tell us about, do you remember that bit?
Romalina, the really cute little sun bear.
Yeah. Wasn't she great when she was sleeping in the tree? That was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was a real highlight. So she was up in a tree and she was like sleeping like this. And then we walked around the corner and then she had her two little legs dangling.
That was pretty amazing. Awesome. Oh, thanks, guys. So from there we spent, and the next day we spent at the at Seplock Orangutan Center and the Rainforest Discovery Center, which was really awesome. Oh, there's Wong taking us on the tour around the perimeter fence, and Wun Bing is not here today. He's not able to make it, but Wun Bing's usually part of this group, and he's the designer of those amazing bear signs there, which were absolutely incredible. They've only just been installed at BSBCC. And it was so fun to be part of the bear family, wasn't it? To stand behind them. So Wenbing, when you watch this, when you catch up and watch, we thought your bears were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right, so next step was Seplock Orangutan Center, and what we did there is which shares the parking lot with BSBCC. So the next day we walked down there and we checked in and we visited the nursery and watched the young orangutans who've just graduated from infant sort of level, and they're starting to learn how to play on the jungle gym and learn their orangutan skills. So we watched them for a bit, and then we went to the platform viewing area, which you can see on the left hand side, where the orangutans were fed by a keeper. But these are semi-habituated, and some of them are rescued orangutans that live in the area there, but they're also some of the orangutans that are wild come in to feed sometimes too. So wild orangutan story. I don't know who wants to share a wild orangutan story. Anyone? Don't all tell it at once, but who feels like telling that one?
I can do it. We were on the platform with Wong at his facility, and we had two orangutans that showed up, and one of them was very upset, I guess, from the beginning. He was making squeaky sounds, and I guess the other one came down and ran to his aid or something, and we ended up getting chased on the platform by the two orangutans, and Wong had to fend them off so we could go flying down the stairs.
It was, the funny thing was when we're walking through this orangutan and all we hear is Wong turning around and going, run! So yeah, we ran, didn't we?
That was my favorite part, is when someone tells you to run, who typically when you're encountering an animal, you're supposed to walk away slowly facing them, and it's no.
Not in this case. It was a run scenario, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
right now it sounds funny, but at that
Yeah.
particular moment, it's not funny at all, right?
No, it was not funny at that moment, I think, at all. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if somebody got beaten, you will make a headline the next day.
yeah, and
Then
it wouldn't be good for the
it-
center either.
yeah, no, not to be good. Yeah, it's going to be bad publicity for everybody.
Yes, absolutely true. But we enjoyed it regardless. It was a highlight, even though, and probably because none of us got hurt, which is quite important. From there, we were met by our guide. Our guide was absolutely extraordinary. Theo was a guide that joined us for the rest of our trip, and he took us to the Rainforest Discovery Center. Now, I'm hoping that this video is going to work. We'll see if it does. We've got limited internet, so we'll see what happens here. But I wanted to sort of lead up to this video here. So we're on the Rainforest Discovery Center, which is aerial boardwalks all the way around the rainforest, and we just finished watching this this beautiful bird, which was called a Wallace's hawk eagle. We just finished watching that, and we went around the corner, and a mother and a baby orangutan were in a tree at eye level with us. And then it was getting to be dusk, and that's a time when orangutans build nests. So we just watched, see if we can actually see what's happening here. This is viewed through a telescope, so we weren't actually this close. But we started watching this orangutan building a nest for herself and her baby, which was absolutely extraordinary. How many times have you seen an orangutan do that, Wong? Is that a common occurrence?
Well, in the orangutan center in our facilities, I would say half of the time where the orangutans build nests, because the one that at our center sometimes they don't build that, they just sleep in any buildings, as long as there's a roof. And then but in the wild, all of the wild orangutan do make nests every evening. They have to make their own nest and then sleep there every evening. That is for the wild one. Yeah, and our orangutans that at the orangutan center do not make nests every day.
Yeah. So we found it was quite extraordinary to watch this. And then, if you can see right here, she just finished building her nest, and then they just sort of lined down and had a cuddle together, which was absolutely extraordinary to watch. It brought tears to my eyes, I have to say. And I think we were all quite moved by that experience, don't you think, Ellen? Were you? Yeah, it was quite incredible. We saw so much wildlife while we're here. While we're at the Rainforest Discovery Center, this was the Wallace's what is it, hawk eagle that we saw, and this is one of the towers that we climbed in order to see some of the wildlife. Then we came down to the bottom of the tower, and we spent some time walking through the jungle at night and looking for night creatures there as well. So yeah, anyone want to tell anyone about these ones? Nerilyn, do you want to have a go at that?
Sure. So the one on the left is a little tarsier that we were walking, and our guide Theo just found it. We were walking in the middle of the night in the jungle, and boom, he's just able to find wildlife.
It's amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's really cute. And then the other one on the right is the kingfisher oriental dwarf. Yeah.
Oriental dwarf kingfisher. That's it, right? And it was right by the walk, wasn't it? Right by where we were walking, which is incredible. The tarsier, by the way, is a primate, a very tiny primate. So that was impressive to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then from there, we went to the Kinabatangan River. It's the longest river in Sabah. It's 560 kilometers long. And we spent 2 nights on the Kinabatangan River doing a hell of a lot of boat cruising. Morning, noon, night. We just went on the boat as many times as we could. Here's a little video of us doing our thing. Here's a video. I have to remind you of the video. So we had a really good time there. You can see our guide in the boat room as well. So much wildlife in this river. So if anyone decides to come to Borneo, then definitely you've got to put Kinabatangan on your radar. What would you say about Kinabatangan, Wong?
What do I say? What?
What would you say about Kinabatangan? What makes it so special?
Oh, because you can see wildlife without sweat.
Yeah, without sweat.
You're just on a boat and then you just cruise and here's an elephant, here's a this and here's a that and here's a that. So without, sweating, get yourself messy or bitten by leeches. So it's the best way to watch wildlife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. And I have to say that after sweating gallons and gallons over the last few days.
Yeah. And sometimes you feel cold as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the winds blows in or after the rain, and sometimes you get wet if the rains come in a little, little paddock with little spots. Yeah. But in general, it's a very relaxing, kind moment. Especially especially in the evening, when we head back to the lodge, and then the sun set, it was getting dark, and you have that twilight zone. You see the silhouette of the trees and the forest and the monkey up on the trees. Really special.
It is a very, very special river, I think. And not to mention that the wildlife is extraordinary. Got that one. How about some of these? Who wants to talk about elephants? Anyone?
Yeah, we were really fortunate to Bornean pygmy elephant there on 2 separate days. They were by the river, and on the second day they were actually swimming in the river. One of the big male is actually wearing a collar, and he got some foliage caught on that, and we watched him swimming in the river and dislodging it. That was very cool.
Yeah, it's not a really common thing to see the pygmy elephants, and we were absolutely blessed, weren't we? Absolutely incredible. So the first time we saw them, it was actually raining quite hard, and they were all turned away from us and sort of hiding from the rain. And then when the rain stopped, they turned around and started eating the elephant grass and chomping away, didn't they? And then the second time they were actually swimming, which is brilliant. And then you can see the other sort of iconic species of the Kinabatangan is the proboscis monkeys. And we were lucky enough to see a lot of proboscis monkeys too, weren't we? We saw not only the proboscis monkeys, but there's something really magical happening on the Kinabatangan. Wong, you might have to elaborate on this a little bit, but the proboscis monkeys are actually one of the monkeys has left the monkey troop and joined a silver leaf monkey group, and there seems to be interbreeding between the two species, which is kind of interesting. So we saw females with female silver leaf monkeys that are a gray color, with their babies being bright orange, which was quite incredible. Can you add to anything about that, Wong? Do you know about that?
Yes. Yeah. So sorry. What are you trying to say?
Oh, I was talking about the proboscis monkeys. There's one that's actually joined a silver leaf monkey
Sure.
group, and there's
Okay.
interbreeding going on.
Yes, yeah. So few years ago, there was a sighting of a male proboscis monkey mating with a female silverleaf monkey. And then after that, because it is an area where lots of tourists, tour guides were there, so they observed the female. And then one day, this female silverleaf monkey have a baby that looks very odd, with a very odd pointed out snout, and then our nose, and then that little infant are being observed through time and become a big female and looks very weird. And apparently it was a hybrid between the proboscis monkey and the silverleaf monkey. Yeah. So and then there was a paper written about this observation. So it was quite interesting one to see, you know, a hybrid and then being created in this kind of scenario.
Yeah, and it's the same as happening at Seplock, isn't it? With the macaques. There's two species of macaques that have been
The long tail and the
interbreeding.
pigtail, yeah.
And they're actually fertile when they've been interbreeding, right? So it's throwing aside our concept of species, really.
That's right.
Yeah, because for those of you, if you don't know, then a species is not supposed to be able to interbreed, or if they do interbreed, they're supposed to be fertile, if infertile after they've interbred. But this is not the case. So we're actually seeing new species being formed before our eyes, which was magical to see, I thought. Yeah, quite impressive. Other things we saw, we went from there to Danum Valley, and this is where Wong spent 6 years in the jungle doing his master's and his doctorate research. So it was a special thing to be there at the place where you'd done that, Wong. You can see on the right, you can see us learning a lot from our guide, Theo, and you can also see one of the other inhabitants that we met, the red leaf monkey. And yeah, we had some interesting stories about them. Does anyone want to share about what happened with our red leaf monkeys and the river? Oh, can't hear you. I think you're talking, Bernie. Are you talking?
I was. I actually wasn't there, but I did help. I was there watching them to start with when they were playing in the trees. They're hilarious. It's lovely watching the monkeys play because they sort of get some momentum up on the branch they're on and get the tree moving, and then they just take a flying leap and grab onto some foliage on another tree, and just amazingly they don't fall to the ground. Apparently sometimes they do, but then some of you went back again and went to the river for a swim, and when you're coming back the monkeys were actually jumping from trees on one side of the road to
crossing the road,
on
just
the other side
jumping
of the
across.
road.
They're amazingly athletic. Yeah, incredible. And we also watched this sort of a round trip on the tree, didn't we? Where they were jumping down and sort of trampolining off the tree and then climbing back up and trampolining back down. That was amazing to watch as well.
Yeah,
this is the river that Bertie was just talking about. Where we've just heard all sorts of stories about the river, but we love the river. It's a really lovely place to have a bit of a swim, and quite a fast current in the middle. This is Liz swimming across the current in the middle there. You know, we talk about all the big nine in Borneo, the big creatures that you should see, and we were lucky enough to see the majority of them this trip in 10 days, which we never imagined to be possible. But we also saw so many tiny little things, you know, that there's so much in the forest that you don't even think of, and these gorgeous little cup mushrooms on the right hand side were just beautiful. And then this other one, if you look at the one on the left, there's actually at the very top of that, sitting on top of that mushroom, is a huntsman spider. And with that one, I put my camera underneath because it's good to get pictures of the underside of mushrooms as well. And underneath, there's this gorgeous little, really, really, really tiny snail. So yeah, that was really fun to see as well. Pretty awesome. We did a lot of hiking, didn't we? We hiked, how many times a day did we hike? I don't know. At Danum, probably three or four. We hiked a lot, and as Wong said, we sweated a lot. Absolutely sweated a lot. We had leech socks on. Can you see, if you can see those green leggings, they look like old-fashioned 1980s leggings. Then yeah, those are leech socks, and they're actually like big I guess they're like big socks that you put on and then put it inside your boot so that the leeches can't get into your feet because they're inside inside your boots. But they were provided for us by our guide company, and I got to say, we didn't get any leeches on our feet, did we? Which was kind of interesting. I don't know if Belinda, you feel like sharing your leech story.
Yes, I can. I had a wound on my finger, a small wound on my finger, covered with a band-aid. And we came home from a night walk, and a leech had crawled under the gap at the end of the band-aid, attached to the wound, and then swollen up. I had this enormous black leech, fully engorged, on the tip of my finger, and I just freaked out and panicked and flicked my hand, and it came flying off, and I splattered blood all across the walls and the floor and all over Sarah's clothes.
Yeah, we had a mini murder scene, didn't we?
Leech in a room at Down Valley now at the moment. That was...
So yeah, we had a few adventures. That was a good one. On the right, you can see a picture of the InfoPro tower, which is where Wong spent a lot of hours, haven't you, Wong?
Yep, this is where I did my 24 hours monitoring of various activity patterns once a week. Yeah, 24 hours, stay up there for the night. Yeah, pretty cool.
And you had some interesting experiences there with elephants at the bottom, didn't you?
Yes, all kind of story up there.
All kinds of interesting stories up there. And we went up there to watch the sunrise, and unfortunately, the sunrise was obliterated a little bit by fog. But the rainforest itself is completely magical in the fog. Especially really, really early in the morning when before the dawn chorus, which we're all used to having when the birds wake, the gibbons wake up first, and the gibbons calling in the rainforest was extraordinary. They just boom all the way through the forest, don't they, everyone? They just start incredible calls, and then they do this boom, 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 and then they do this whoop, 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 at the end, and it gets faster at the end. It's just beautiful to listen to. I think that was my favorite sound of the rainforest so far. Absolutely beautiful. All right, those are the pictures I had to show you. I'm not sure if anyone else wants to share any other stories. You've heard my favorites. Ellen, did you have anything else you wanted to share?
What? Oh yeah, so our guide, he was amazing. So we went on a first night drive when we got to Dannon Valley. And by the way, from the start to beginning of where you go into Dannon and where you sleep at night is like over an hour and a half drive on some interesting roads, to say the least. The first certain amount of miles, I don't know what it is kind of more normal paved, and then you get to the just kind of dirt roads. But the first night we were all on this like African safari looking truck with like 18 people, and our guide didn't come with us because of how it works with people getting paid and their jobs and all that. So he wasn't able to come. There's too many people, but we didn't enjoy it as much because Theo knows all. And so what we did is on our last night, we had the option of doing another night walk or doing a night drive. And they had a smaller Africa safari truck there that fit all 7 of us just perfectly. So we asked him if he would take us out on a personal night, and he did. And then we got to see leopard cats, civets, great Argus bird, which is amazing. They make these like lecking grounds where they dance for the females, and their dance grounds have to be completely immaculate, which I thought was great. That the women come in and judge and go, not clean enough, on to the next one. And just hearing the nightlife in Borneo in the middle of this valley is just, it is so loud and it is so fascinating because you can't hear that anywhere else. Every place sounds different. and it's just absolutely amazing. And I mean, we got to see a leopard cat, and those guys are really, really hard to find. And I think one of our girls got a really good shot of him, so maybe she can share that next time. But yeah, that was
amazing. Now, what was the name of the other thing we saw on the tree on the night drive?
A colugo, which is like a.
Yeah. Does anyone here know what one is?
I do.
Yeah. Caroline, you know what one is? Yeah, this was the funniest looking thing. It's, to me, it looked like a cross between a bat and a squirrel, I think is the best way to put it, because it had these long stretched out skin and but a long nose. It was much more like a ferret sort of a nose. So have a look. If you don't know what that is, have a look for it. We haven't got a picture of that one just yet.
Can you repeat what that was called?
How do we spell it, Ellen?
Qlago. Wait.
Did you get that, Roger?
Galago. Did you say a
Yeah.
Galago? Right. I thought they were from Africa. Okay, right.
Yeah, no, they're in Borneo as well.
Okay. Well, maybe that's where they all are. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Colugo.
UGO.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Different
Awesome.
thing.
Now, there's one other animal we saw that we haven't talked about, is a slow loris. We actually came across a slow loris, and believe it or not, it was moving very, very slowly along a branch. Wong has informed us that they can move as fast as they like, but at this point it was moving very, very slowly. And it was very gorgeous, I have to say. Any other creatures we've forgotten?
Binturong.
Oh yeah, we saw the binturong.
Binturong this morning. This morning we saw a binturong climbing a tree. So that's a bear cat is its other name. Quite a big animal. It's like a very, very big cat size, but furry and black. And yeah, we saw that one this morning. So I think we ticked off pretty much everything on a list except for a clouded leopard and a bearded pig. Yeah, pretty amazing. And some of the birds were incredible, as well as the mammals we saw. Any other stories anyone wants to share?
For the sake of sharing something, I'll say that when I was it's about 16 years ago, when it was my first long haul holiday after my wife had died, and decided that somewhere like Borneo was a really exciting place to go. But unfortunately, the whole time we were at Sepilok, it absolutely teemed with rain. And the person standing in front of me had an umbrella up, and the umbrella was dripping down my face, and I found that a bit difficult. But actually, I was more excited when I saw a couple of orangutans in the actual wild in the forest somewhere, away from the rehabilitation centre, and just seeing them, just a glimpse of them really in that high canopy was more exciting than the seeing them close up.
I totally agree with you, Roger, because we saw quite a few orangutan in the wild at Kinabatangan and at Dannon Valley, and yeah, it's much more impressive in the wild, isn't it, than at the feeding platform.
So it was just a glimpse of them in the high forest, but it wasn't really a wildlife holiday that I was on. It was just a holiday, and so there's a mixture of places to go and things to look at and see and do. So we went to Sarawak, to Kuching, spent a time there, and that was astonishing to me, because I'd imagined I'd read about what was the book called that I read when I was a little boy, about Sarawak, and I'd imagined it as a tiny little village, and Kuching was a city, and I had no idea what to expect when I got there. So we spent time there. My biggest disappointment is the thing that I've always regretted, is that on the way back from Sepilok, we stopped off on the side of the road, and a local person came along and said there was a rafflesia flower to be seen, and I didn't go to see it because I thought he was charging too much, and ever since that I've regretted that I didn't go and see it. But so it was an interesting, good holiday. But I say it's about 16, 18 years ago now. My wife died 18 years ago, so it's about 16 years ago since I went.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, you'll have to come back and see a raffia flower, I think.
Well, I'd like to do, whether I've got the energy. I mean, I'm 84 now, and the long haul holidays are
It's a long
really
way, isn't it? It's a long
not
way.
encouraging to me at the moment.
I understand. Well, one of the experience we had while we were here is that everyone had the opportunity to try durian.
Yes,
It's
I had durian.
here, and yeah, so we had a bit of a try of the durian. I think it was 50-50 split on who loved it and who hated it, I think, pretty much. So yeah, I'm one of the lovers of durian. So
I liked it, but it was a wild one. We were taken for a walk one evening in the forest by a guide, and they found this durian tree, and there was some on the ground. So one was picked up, and it was a wild one. So I don't know whether they're harvested regularly, but I enjoyed it.
they are harvested.
It didn't smell half as bad as they're supposed to. I didn't think.
That's good. That's good. Excellent. And Asphalt, you say you love durian and you wait for the season every year. I think Wong's in your box too. You've overloaded this season, haven't you, Wong?
Yep.
You've overloaded already. For anyone who's not quite sure if they like it and you do come to Borneo, my suggestion is that you start with durian ice cream. And if you like the ice cream, then you move on to the fruit. So we actually started with the ice cream before the fruit, and I think that was a good sort of taster, literally speaking. Yeah, I think that's our adventure, isn't it? Is there anything else that any of my adventurers want to share before we move over to Wong for an update on the bears?
The birds, Sarah.
Oh yeah, go for it, Ferdy.
And well, we saw how many different hornbills did we see? About 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's true. We saw 4 or 5 different hornbills, including the helmeted hornbill.
Yes, and the rhinoceros and the pied oriental, and
White crest.
Yeah, white crested, and we saw numerous, maybe 15 or 20 other kinds of birds, big,
That's
small,
really,
and
incredible birds, simply. And Nerilyn, what have you decided you're going to be now?
Well, now I'm officially a bird watcher. I've got the binoculars. About 30 years too early, but you know. Fun.
Yeah. So even where we were walking, we were scanning the canopy, whether for birds or wildlife, and quickly putting our binoculars up if we saw a shape or something that looked interesting. So yeah, we've learned a lot of skills during the week as well.
Yeah, that would be one advice that I'd have for people if they come, is get a good set of binoculars, because I did that this time and they were invaluable.
Yeah, you just get so much more detail, and the colors closer up, it looks a lot different to just looking at with the naked eye if something's quite a long way off in the distance.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, high up in the trees. Yeah,
absolutely.
And just
I reckon
reckon
this has been a success, don't you, ladies?
Yeah, very
absolutely.
successful. Thank you, Sarah. And
it's been so much fun. This is the first time that I've led a group here, and I have enjoyed every second. The group has been fabulous, and what we've seen, we have just it's every expectation has been blown out of the water, I think. And so yeah, I'll be doing it again next year, and anyone who wants to come. Ellen, you're thinking you might come again, so that's a good start. So yeah, anyone who's interested, let me know and I'll send you some more details. But yeah, it's been magnificent to be in this part of the world. It's an area that has been very close to my heart since I met Wong in 2012, and to be here again has just been a delight. It really has. So passing over to Wong, do you want to give us an update on what's going on with the bears, and especially Tenem?
Yeah, okay, good. Well, so last month, what did was that? I went to see Tenom, and then right now, I mean, I cannot be seen by her, period. So I know that she's getting more and more independent. She's getting quite big already, and she's still, walking every day with our team of caretakers. which is good, which is good. And then my team still update me on a regular basis about how she do in the forest and things like that. And then Elvia, the master students who are trying to trap bears over there, still have not have her success to capture a bear. And then we just pick up our newly ordered or newly manufactured bear traps from KK to Tabin just yesterday, arrived there. And then on Monday, I'm going to go to Tabin and then go and check out, things to make sure everything's go okay and check out how things are being done and things like that. So far for that project, is doing okay. And then last week, we also got an approval from the wildlife departments to build the field station there with officers, with accommodation for our staff who based in Tabin. So right now I'm officially in the quest of raising money to build that field house. So hopefully when it is all built, then we have our own facilities where we can,
That's amazing.
sleep and overnight, and then slowly build up that station as a long-term project for sun bear research, sun bear rehabilitations, deal with all the issue with the bears human conflict. Lately we got just more and more bears, sun bears that come out from the forest into the palm plantations and then get into conflict. And then so we need a team of people who are on the ground to deal with the situation when that happened. Yeah. So hopefully we can manage to raise that money and then build the facilities and slowly build out a stronger team on the field, to deal with all this either research, rehab, and then also conflict, and also anti-poaching team. So that's the whole plan or hope for the Tabin Summit project. And then for myself, back in here, and last month on the 20th, I was in West Malaysia visiting Waipak, who was my field research assistant when I was in Danum doing my PhD. And then Waipak, after I finished my study in Danum, we moved back to Sepilok to set up the Sunbear Center. And he is the one who helped me run everything, especially when I was away. So and then but he left us in 2013 to West Malaysia. He's from West Malaysia, and right now he is heading a project in east coast of West Malaysia, where they are trying to protect a peat swamp forest similar to the size of Tabin Wildlife Reserve. It's a big peat swamp forest, and there's a lot of sun bears there as well. So I visited a peat swamp forest. A peat swamp forest means that the it's very swampy, and then most of the undergrowth vegetation, not undergrowth, is in the soil. It's actually a layer of coal and peat. Yeah, it's a completely different forest ecosystems. The forest, the tree composition is also very different as well from the lowland deep tropical forest. So it's good to visit and see the potential of that kind of forest. And that kind of peat swamp forest is also very vulnerable for developments and also agriculture as well. So again, it's eye-opening for me because I never really, entering or go into the visit a peat swamp forest. So it's a good sight, and also see many bears site like claw marks on tree and things like that. So and then right now back to the center, tourists is back right now. Is literally at its peak of the visitors. Yeah, and then every day we have several hundreds of tourists. So the tourist number has been quite high lately, which is a good thing. And I really hope that through nature-based tourism, because when the tourists come here, they spend money, their money creates jobs on the ground, and then improve local people's livelihood to a point where these local people do not need to become poachers in order to make a living. So hopefully our nature-based tourism industry will flourish, because nature-based tourism attract tourists, just like, you know, Sarah and you all visited Danum, visited Kinabatangan, and all of, when you visited those area, your tourist money will help local community. And this is what we want, because we want the local community to feel like they are the stewards, they are the guardian, they are the protector of our wildlife. And then by protecting the wildlife, they can actually improve their livelihood. Because all these tourists come here and spend money, you know, stay in the homestay, eat their food and things like that. So hopefully, you know, the cycle go into the positive feedback loop, yeah, and then we can, I think we must protect the wildlife. Only when the local people are happy, then our wildlife will be happy too. So this is what I believe, because during the pandemic, it built a very strong case study, you know, before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic. And right now we are after the pandemic. Hopefully, tourists come back, and then poaching incidents will go down. So then, yeah, so that's our hope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
the
then,
power of
yeah.
ecotourism, definitely, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then also last week, there was a group of Thai delegates from the Department of National Park visited us. They have a lot of bears in their care, but they don't have a facilities like us. So they are kind of look at our model, and then hopefully they'll, you know, do something in Thailand as well. I think it's a win-win-win situation for everybody. You know, when the bears is well taken care of, you know, they can raise more money for their governments, and then the governments will do good jobs, and also help out with the local economy. So, which is a good thing for us to influence other countries who have these kind of resources but do not know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all in all, it's like that. And then of course, when you guys come here, I was busy with you all for a few days, which is a great time to spend time with you all, show you all around
Wonderful. Thank
at
you.
the center, behind the scene, and things like that. Yeah. So great.
It could not have been better. So thank you, Wong, for hosting us. It was just
Yeah,
incredible.
you're very welcome.
I have to say, for anyone here who's listening who hasn't been to Borneo, put it on your top of your bucket list, please, because yeah, our experiences this week have just proven to us that this is one hell of a special place on earth, and we need to fight hard to protect it, I think. So yeah, one way to protect it is, as Wong says, is to come here and spend your money here and have a look, and then spread the word about how important it is to the well, to our entire planet, really. So yeah, let's all do that. Is anyone else got anything they'd like to share?
Oh, by the way, hi Caroline, long time no see. I was so happy to see you. Yeah. Okay.
Thing to say that when I went down to the Danum Valley with you, I think it was the Danum Valley, Waipak was there, and I was just going to say to you, how's Waipak? Please give him my regards. Had the best. That was my best birthday out of a lot of birthdays that I've had.
Yeah, he's
And
doing good. He's actually doing good, and then finish his master working with sun bears on northern part of Borneo, northern part of many years ago. And then right now he's heading up his own project. So I'm glad that he is, you know, as the conservation manager of the company, who are helping the governments to manage that peaceful forest. He's doing good. He's doing good. Still stay single. Still have a long ponytail.
ah, nice. He was very nice person. Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Great.
Anything else anyone wants to share? Madura, what's going on in Sri Lanka?
Well, same as usual. Same as usual, Sarah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm heading to the final stage of Australian government sponsored sustainable tourism project for this year.
Awesome.
Hopefully that we'll meet up online. And that's all for the time being. But after I have listened to you guys, I think I have missed a wonderful opportunity to be with you all. But with my teaching commitment and all, I'm sorry I can't travel all around the year similar to what I'm doing. But
You
good
managed
that you
pretty well, I must say.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, you did a wonderful job today. I mean, you shared all your experiences, what you have had during this visit. So I was listening to all these stories, and it's so wonderful to hear. And thank you very much for sharing all these information on behalf of everyone. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, and thank you everyone all the team that came with me to Borneo, and thanks again, Wong, for hosting us and also inspiring us with all your work. So yeah, thank you for doing that. I know we all agree with that one. Okay, guys. Well, I haven't got a time set for next month yet because I'm not near my regular diary and everything. So I'll email you and let you know what time it is. But next one will be on the 10th of September. It's going to be a really interesting one. I have a speaker lined up, but I need to double check that it's definitely honed in before I tell you who it is. It's a good one, though, I have to say. So I'll see you on the 10th of September. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank
Bye.
you. I enjoyed the conversation.
I hope you'll come
Yeah,
again,
thank you.
Roger.
Thank you. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.